Can you actually fix a rich running two-stroke just by riding it harder? One of the most common comments I get when tuning a two-stroke that's running rich is people saying, oh, you just need to ride it harder, or you don't know how to ride a two-stroke. And honestly, they're partially right. Because riding it harder can make a rich running two-stroke feel better. But feeling better doesn't always mean that the problem is fixed. Let me show you exactly what they mean. The bike is blubbering, you gotta rev it up to clear it out. It's gonna foul plugs unless you ride it at a higher RPM. Oil's dripping down the silencer every time you ride, but after making some jetting adjustments, it starts easier, it idles properly, it doesn't foul plugs at low RPM, especially trail riding. And now it runs cleaner, so there's very little to no oil after every ride. The problem is what happens next. When you got a rich running bike and you run it hotter at a higher RPM, that fuel mixture burns cleaner, so then it runs better, and then people think that the problem is fixed. But from my experience, that isn't the same thing as fixing it. You see, the rich condition didn't disappear. The engine simply burned more of the excess fuel. Riding harder treats symptoms, but proper tuning fixes the cause. So then the real question is, why is it running rich? Well, in the case of a YZ85 that I was recently tuning, it was a combination of the air screw not being properly adjusted, the pilot jet was too rich, so it was getting too much fuel, and the needle position was too rich, causing it to suck up more fuel than it could efficiently burn. Now, before the comments explode, yes, motocross bikes are designed to be ridden aggressively. That's not what I'm arguing. But does that mean a two-stroke should only run well at high RPM? What happens when you're riding a tight or technical trail? Or you're following your kid around the yard? Should it be fouling plugs every time you ride at low RPM? Some people might say, well, that's why trail bikes exist. You shouldn't be riding a motocross bike on tight trails. Well, for one, I've tuned plenty of trail bikes, especially betas, that are tuned rich from the factory as well. The bike being designed for trails doesn't automatically mean the jetting is going to be correct from the factory. And your riding style doesn't change whether the bike is running rich or lean. It only changes how noticeable the symptoms are. If riding harder alone fixed the problem, then why did an air screw adjustment immediately make the bike run better? One of the biggest mistakes I see isn't bad jetting. It's confusing symptom relief with problem solving. For example, 3 common band-aid fixes that I see for a rich running two-stroke are: 1, running less oil in the fuel mixture. So if it's running rich at 32:1, people think that, oh, 40:1 or 50:1 will make it leaner. Number 2 is installing a hotter spark plug to resist fouling. It's okay if you fouled a plug and you need to get back to the truck on a trail, but this is not a long-term fix. Or number 3, every time it loads up or sputters, you just ride it harder. Yeah, try doing that on a hard enduro trail. If your two-stroke only runs well when you ride it hard, don't ignore that. That's not the solution. That's a clue. Don't ask, how do I make the symptoms go away? Ask, what are the symptoms or the sounds trying to tell me? So if you're wondering what the first thing I do to adjust before just riding it harder, you should check out this video right here. It's the first adjustment I make on every two-stroke carb before I change the jets. I'm Kelly Figure from MXHideout. Stop guessing, start diagnosing.